Luxury advertising is often associated with perfection. Perfect surfaces, perfect lighting, perfect control. In many digital images, the process of making disappears. The object looks flawless, but sometimes it also feels distant. Stop motion. Stop motion offers another kind of luxury. It does not hide the material. It shows paper, thread, fabric stitches, edges, joints, and small imperfections. These traces remind us that the image was made by hands, frame by frame. The first case is Hermes, with Satie Hermes Ryan. This film does not present luxury through a cold and polished digital surface. Instead, it builds a moving collage from photographs, illustrations, paper textures, and handmade layers. The horse and rider do not simply appear on screen. They are assembled, cut, layered, and animated. The visible edges of the collage become part of the story. They connect the elegance of the brand with the physical act of making. Here, paper is not a fragile or secondary material. It becomes a living surface. Through stop-motion, paper carries memory, movement, and heritage. The imperfection of the collage creates an authentic atmosphere, and this authenticity becomes part of Hermes' luxury language. The second case is Burberry, Winter 2025. In this campaign, the Burberry Night is brought to life through embroidery. The brand emblem is not only drawn or digitally animated, it is stitched, frame by frame. Every embroidered frame contains time. Every stitch carries a small irregularity. The thread is never completely mechanical, and this is exactly what makes the image feel human. The night moves because the material has been touched, sewn, and photographed again and again. For Burberry, this is more than a visual effect. The emblem becomes a character. The logo becomes a journey. The textile surface turns brand identity into a handmade animation. In this case, imperfection does not weaken the brand image. It gives the brand image a body. The third case is Dior, with a ride to the moon. Here, the focus shifts from surface to character. A small horse, inspired by a Dior charm, is assembled from sewing materials and animated inside a theatrical world. This is important because sewing materials usually belong behind the scenes of fashion. They are part of construction, labor, and craft. In the advertisement, however, these backstage materials move to the center of the story. They become the body of a character. Through stop motion, Dior transforms the tools and fragments of making into emotion. The horse is not only a symbol of the brand, it is a fragile, handmade being. Its material imperfection makes it more touching, more poetic, and more connected to the craft of fashion. The fourth case is Lau, with an otter stale. This campaign moves beyond product display. It builds a crafted fantasy world where animals, decorative patterns, handmade sets, and fashion objects coexist. The brand is not explained through a direct message. It is experienced as an atmosphere. The fabric otter and the handmade environment create a world that feels tactile, strange, and alive. The product becomes part of this world rather than standing alone. Lau shows that stop motion can turn advertising into a small universe. The handmade elements create wonder, and that wonder becomes part of the brand identity. Here, Imperfection is not only a material trace, it is a way of making the brand feel imaginative and emotion ally present. Across these examples, the materials are different, but the strategy is similar. Herm scuts and layers paper. Burberry stitches a logo into motion. Dior assembles sewing materials into a character. Lau builds a tactile fantasy world. In each case, stop motion makes the process visible. The viewer can sense cutting, stitching, assembling, and moving. These actions become part of the meaning of the advertisement. This is why material imperfection matters. It shows time, it shows labor, it shows that luxury is not only a finished object, but also a process of making. Stop motion turns this process into a visual argument.